Hey guys, it's Barrett. I hope you're all doing well. So the endangered species I chose is the Galapagos penguin. Its conservation status is endangered, and the current population is estimated to be just 2,000 birds. The Galapagos penguin is one of the smallest penguins in the world and is endemic to the Galapagos Islands. The islands are located off the coast of Ecuador in South America. It is the most northerly occurring penguin species, nesting entirely in the tropics. So it's not your typical penguin, it's not in Antarctica, it's not surrounded by ice. So that's why I chose it, because it's a different type of penguin. A fun fact about these penguins is that they're extremely agile underwater, reaching speeds of over 20 miles per hour when hunting. Their diets consist of primarily of cold water schooling fish, such as anchovies, sardines, and mullet, and not the gross hair, the fish mullet. So these fish are able to live in the Galapagos Marine Reserve thanks to the cold waters of the Humboldt Current. Galapagos penguins mate for life, with the female laying between 1 and 2 eggs, which are incubated for 35 to 40 days. As we learned this semester, the ability to have babies is crucial when it comes to population size and survival. Penguin breeding is very closely linked to environmental conditions, therefore climate change is a major threat to their future. El Niño heavily influences the Galapagos penguins' population as it makes the waters around the Galapagos warmer, making their food less abundant. The El Niño, for those of you who don't know, is the warm phase of the El Niño Southern Oscillation and is associated with a band of warm ocean water that develops in the central and east central Pacific, including the area of the Pacific coast of South America, where the Galapagos Islands are. So the cold water schooling fish that these penguins feed on migrate away from the Galapagos during El Niño, meaning food becomes scarce. As a result, penguins usually do not breed during these times because raising offspring successfully is low and parent penguins could die in the attempt. The El Niño of 1982-1983 caused a dramatic decline in penguin population by around 80%. After a slow recovery, a second bad El Niño in 1997 reduced the population again by 65%. Population numbers have slowly been recovering, but numbers are still only half of what they were in 1982. Increasing frequency and severity of the El Niño weather events due to global climate change is a major threat to the Galapagos penguin, especially when they are already at low numbers. Although natural predators are uncommon, penguin chicks can be taken by the Galapagos hawks and short-eared owls. Their nesting activities have also been restricted due to many of their nests used 40 years ago are now either prone to flooding or inhabited by marine iguanas. This means that less pairs can breed now compared to 40 years ago, so the recovery of the species is limited. The Galapagos penguins have developed several behavioral adaptations to help keep themselves cool since they're not in their typical environment like other penguins. These include standing with their flippers extended to aid heat loss, as well as panting and seeking shade, kind of like I do in the summer heat. Galapagos penguins and their close relatives also have a bare patch on their faces to help release additional heat, which is always a factor in their environment. So of course, humans have also played a role in the decrease of the penguins' populations. Does that surprise you? No. Human activities on the islands over the last 470 years have led to invasive species being brought to the island by colonizers, farmers, and even pirates. Of course, the pirates did it. Some of these invasive species, including feral pigs, dogs, cats, and fire ants, all of which feed on the Galapagos penguins, land predators are a great problem for these penguins as their chicks cannot yet swim, making them easy targets for cats and dogs. Humans have also brought diseases to the Galapagos that the native species have no immunity against. A deadly introduced disease is malaria, which is feared may eradicate the Galapagos penguin, as it has done to the endemic bird species in Hawaii. In Hawaii, the introduction of malaria has led to so many extinctions that it now has the highest number of extinct birds in the world, with 10 extinctions in the last 35 years. The same effect is feared to occur in the Galapagos, as the Galapagos, like Hawaii, is an isolated group of islands, so the introduction of a new disease can be fatal for a species that has no immunity towards it. Human traffic on the islands, especially fishing on the islands, has also led to penguin fatalities. Bycatch has become a global issue for marine species as bad fishing techniques from all around the world have led to millions of animals dying after being tangled up in nets. As we know, penguins are birds and they need air to survive. The likelihood of them dying after being caught in a net is extremely high. Hopefully, someday soon, now, tomorrow, yesterday, humans will do more to help these penguins rather than aid to their extinction. Thank you.